Hey everybody, good morning. It's Andrew. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. It actually was a break from the rain yesterday. The sun came out for a while, so we had a moment of some clear skies and some sun. It really doesn't rain as much as maybe one would expect it does in Seattle. I think we get kind of a bad rap, but when it does rain, man, it rains hard and it's just gray. I can handle the rain. It's just the gray skies that start to get to me. But the clouds parted yesterday for a while and the sun came out. So I was happy and I enjoyed it. And it was a nice little boost to get me through until spring. So I hope you had a great weekend too. And I wanted to share with you a couple of ideas around the idea of continuing along this topic that I've been doing videos on about choosing our thoughts and choosing our feelings to consciously choose to move in a more positive direction. And the video that I posted last week. About the first thing that I do each morning. Got some really great responses, and I did get some really interesting questions from people that I thought were really valid, and a lot of them, basically centered around the idea of, okay, it's one thing when, and I would recommend that you watch the video, but basically just to give you a quick refresher, it was just about, the first thing I do in the mornings is I say, thank you for another day, and then I find a list of things and just start in this stream of consciousness of reasons that I'm happy, or things that I'm grateful for, things that I appreciate, to really specifically and consciously choose to move in a more positive direction for the day. And so I did get some people writing me and giving me some feedback saying, hey, this is great and this is really useful, but what about when the day starts? And what about, when we have our kids to deal with, or our job, or our loved ones, our family, our friends, whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, boss, coworkers. All of these things could potentially, be an influence or affect our feeling or our, happy feeling, positive place. And what do we do then? And the reality is that that's life. I mean, unless we want to go off and live in a cave for 2 years and really just focus on feeling good, the reality is that life is going to come. We're part of the flow of life, and that's the reality of our day to day. And so there are always going to be things that show up that could potentially kind of suck us into a more negative direction or a lower vibrational place, and that's okay. I think the trick is to, number one, is to the first thing that we can do, and this sounds pretty simple, but the first thing that we can do is to consciously commit to doing it, and to understand that when we consciously decide, okay, for the next 30 days or the next 15 days or whatever, pick an amount of time. I think that 30 days is a good amount because it's easy to just block off and say, okay, for the next month, every morning I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to consciously decide that I'm going to feel better. That really does put us off mentally in a new direction, and just the fact that we consciously state that this is what we're going to do really is pretty powerful. And by setting our intention that for the next 30 days we're going to do everything we can to feel better in each and every moment, then that in itself is a really powerful thing that we can do. I think the second thing that you can do is to understand that it's going to take some time. We can't go from living unconsciously and to letting our thoughts and feelings get the better of us and to almost be reactive and feel like, well, I don't have the power to choose how I feel and I don't have the power to choose what I think. To go from that to consciously deciding that we are going to choose our thoughts and we are going to choose our feelings, that's a big leap for a lot of us. And so understanding that it's going to take some time, that it really is like any other skill, that we really just need to consciously decide we're going to do it. And to cut ourselves some slack. I mean, if we can't do it all in one day, then that's fine. And we're never really going to get it done because it really is a lifelong process of always finding something to feel better about. I think the next thing that we can do is to understand that it's not always about going from misery to happiness, that there is an emotional scale. And it's not about finding, okay, I'm distraught, I just lost my job, or I just got dumped, or, I just got some really bad news, and now I'm going to choose to feel happy. It's not about that. It's not about living in this unrealistic, sort of head in the sand world. It's about understanding that there's an emotional scale. And that in every moment, no matter what we're feeling, there's always something that feels a little bit better. And so maybe you go from feeling really angry or really upset to feeling, a little bit apathetic, and then maybe you go from feeling a little bit apathetic to feeling a little bit depressed, and then maybe you go from feeling a little bit depressed to not so depressed, right? And then you go from feeling not so depressed to feeling, okay, well, it's not that bad. And then you go from feeling, okay, it's not that bad, to feeling like, okay, things are getting better, right? So it is a process of stepping up emotionally. So to make it realistic and to not expect that you're going to do it all in one day and that you can go from 0 to 60 in one jump, to understand that it's about kind of coaxing yourself step by step to a better feeling place. And even if the better feeling place still doesn't feel that great, as long as it feels a little bit better, you're still moving the momentum in that direction, and you're still beginning to follow the trail of breadcrumbs to a better feeling place and to a better feeling life. So those are a couple of things that you can do just in the beginning. Then there's, a lot of different things you can do. I love some mornings to just turn on music that I know will make me happy. If I feel like that maybe I've got a big day ahead of me, or I'm feeling a little bit off and I can't quite seem to find a really good feeling place, I'll just turn on the music before I do anything else. While I'm making the coffee, while I'm cleaning the kitchen or making my breakfast, I'll just turn on some music that I know is going to get me in a good mood. Maybe even have a little dance party in my living room, and to use that as a way to get to a better feeling place. And that almost always works, just to find some music that I know is going to make me feel happy. And then to, this is a big one, I think, to consciously begin to choose what we are allowing into our field of attention and what we are allowing into our reality. And this is specifically around media and news. We live in a world now that we are so bombarded with information, and we are so connected to news and information and media that sometimes it can feel like a really daunting task to, stay feeling positive when there's so many things in the world that we can give our attention to that could potentially make us feel angry or depressed or sad or anxious. And to really begin to understand that when we make this decision to consciously choose how we feel has to be one of our top priorities. And for myself, I always say how I feel in any given moment is the most important thing to me. And once I have that taken care of, then I move from there, right? So it's about finding a way to feel better and then taking action. And the way that was really easy for me to do, especially in the beginning, was I went on a fast for like 30 days. I didn't watch the news. If you're on Facebook, then, deselecting all of those things in your Facebook feed, like all the political posts, all of the news posts, all of the media posts that could potentially start you off in a really negative direction. I had to hide a lot of friends because, I have a lot of friends that are very politically minded and that are very active and wanting to be up on what's happening in every single moment with every single political agenda and every single event that's happening in the world. And I'm not here to judge whether or not that's good for them or bad for them, but I am saying for myself that it's very easy. It's a slippery slope. You read one posting that starts you feeling anxious or negative, and then it just becomes like this snowball effect, and before you know it, you're feeling horrible, life sucks, and you just want to go back to bed and hide your head under the pillow. So by committing that you're going to find ways to really control the type of information that's coming to you. Again, do it for 30 days, do it for 2 weeks, whatever is realistic for you. That really helped me. And then at the end of those 2 weeks or that month, I was able to really objectively look and say, you know what? My life isn't any worse off by not knowing what's happening politically every single second of every single minute. So I'm actually going to continue to really filter out the bulk of that information. And I trust that if something is really important for me to know, that it's going to come to me. And if there is information that is really life or death or very crucial for me to know, that it's going to make its way to me, and then I can make a decision then. So by controlling what you're consuming media-wise, that's a huge shift in allowing yourself to find a way to feel better in every moment. So don't let yourself be controlled by the media that you're taking in. Don't allow your life and your point of view and your perspective to always be dictated by the media and what's surrounding you. Really decide that, you know what, I'm going to give myself a break. And if for 30 days you're not aware of every single thing that's happening in every country in the world, trust me, you're going to be fine. Because again, it comes back to deciding and committing that how you feel in every single moment is the most important thing. Because if you're unhappy, if you're miserable, if you're angry and sad and frustrated, you're not doing anybody any good. So you've got to decide and you've got to commit that how you feel is going to be the most important thing. And then from there, you'll find things that will just kind of come up and you'll be inspired to do things like I got rid of cable, and I now am really consciously choosing what media I watch in terms of TV shows and movies and things like that. And anything that doesn't feel right or anything that begins to make me feel negative or frustrated or scared or angry, I just don't watch it. Because again, it's really ultimately not as important as it is that I continue to feel good. Then, there are a million other things that you can do. Choose to get outside more. Choose to reconnect with friends that will always make you feel good. Choose to watch shows or movies or read books or read, published material that will always make you laugh. Choose to surround yourself with beautiful things that make you feel good. You can also do a really good friend of mine, we for several months were doing this emails every morning. We would write things that we were grateful for and things that we were excited about. And then, so you can do an email, find some friends or family members that every morning you can say, all right, we're going to write in an email every single morning, 3 things that we're grateful for now and 3 things that we're excited about that are coming. And you'll find that the more you focus on things that make you happy and make you feel good, the easier it is. And then as you continue to focus on those things that make you happy, then the more things that come to you that you can be happy about. And then I think really lastly, one of the biggest ones is just to celebrate the little things. If you and it seems really silly, but, if one of your favorite things that you like to buy at the grocery store was on sale, you can, yes, score, I got a 2-for-1, or, a new restaurant opened in your neighborhood and you're really excited to try a new restaurant. Even if it sucks, you can be excited about the fact that now you know that you never want to go there again. So finding ways that you can celebrate the little things, I think is really powerful too, because in this day and age, we become so bombarded and it's all about instant gratification and it's all about the newest and the next and what's next and what else is coming, that we forget to really stop and savor and celebrate the little things. So those are some things that I've done and that I've used to continue, finding a way to feel positive and a way to feel better in every moment. I hope that these help. Again, thank you for watching. I always appreciate it. You can go to my website if you want to check out there, or go to my Facebook page and like me there and follow for all the videos and updates and messages that I post. I hope that the rest of your week is a great one. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.